Hello, welcome to White Birch Tarot and Astrology. This reading is kind of for October 9th, which is already passed because I'm doing this early morning on October 10th, through the, we'll say, the 10th and the 11th of October, but they're going to reverberate for longer than that. I just wanted to show you some interesting things that are happening in the sky. And then I drew a cross of truth with the cards. I just want to read you two quick quotes before I start, because I found these and they're really interesting. One is a Swahili proverb, and it goes, "If something bites you, it is inside of your clothes." Okay, and this one is from Jonathan Swift, and I was just wondering, I thought, did they get the I don't know, do you guys say that? Like here, if someone's really smart, we say they're swift. I want it because he was so smart. Anyway, he said, "It is useless to attempt to reason a man out of a thing he was never reasoned into." You got to think about that one. It is useless to attempt to reason a man out of a thing he was never reasoned into. Yeah. Think of how many things we believe that we grew up with or whatever, and reason had nothing to do with it. So yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so I wanted to show you three things. First of all, yesterday, Jupiter went retrograde in Gemini. Jupiter rules our philosophies, our spiritual ideas. Jupiter magnifies everything it touches, so it can sometimes be our luck, our spiritual belief systems. And it's in Gemini, which is communication, but more like day-to-day conversation with people. And Gemini is also the twin, so it's a choice. So when Jupiter goes retrograde in Gemini, I like to think that we're being given a chance to reevaluate not only our recent past conversations, which, if your life is anything like mine, have been horrid. Perhaps that's just me. I don't know. I'd be curious to hear if oh my goodness. We get a chance to reevaluate our belief systems and ask ourselves just what Jonathan Swift is like, why do I believe what I believe? Is this reasonable, or was I just taught this? And why are these people bugging me? Is the bug in my clothes? You know, what's going on here? So this is kind of it's an interesting aspect. It can be a little uncomfortable, but it also gives you an opportunity to review what you've been talking about and what you've been thinking about, and ask yourself, why? Why am I thinking about this? Why is this running through my mind? And then we have, and this is like tomorrow, the 10th of October, we have the sun squaring the moon, and actually this should say like 19, but when I printed it out, I couldn't get the exact time because the ephemeris doesn't give you the exact time because the moon moves too quickly, but this is close. So sometime tomorrow, everything I say tonight is a song title or a song lyric, and it's driving me crazy. That's from this time tomorrow. Anyway, the sun is squaring the moon. The sun is squaring Mars. Mars is in Cancer, sun in Libra, moon in Capricorn. They're all cardinal signs, okay? And the moon is opposite Mars. So it's making this opposition here and two squares, which I looked up the name of, and it just said an opposition with squares. I'm like, okay. All right. Or a double square or something like that. It is a double square. It's a double square with an opposition. So what does that mean? Well, Mars is in Cancer, where he does not particularly like to be, because Mars is the knight on the white horse. He's a fire sign, rules Aries, coming in to save everyone. And when he's in Cancer, he can get a little bit nostalgic, emotional, you know, he can get so swept up in his emotions that he feels kind of powerless. And he's opposite the moon, who rules Cancer, which is where he's at. So right now, the moon is rather powerful in Capricorn, and they're both squaring the sun in Libra, who would like to balance things out and find a mental clarity. You know, Libra's a mental sign. I don't mean that in the British sense. They're not crazy, but it's thinking and it's balancing and it's discernment, and it's squaring the body and the actions, and in some sense the spirituality, you know, the feelings, the emotions. It's squaring the body and the emotions, and right now the emotions could be coming out in the body, since Mars, which rules the body, is opposite the moon, which rules our emotions. And, you know, this is in an earth sign, Capricorn, and I don't know if you can see that or not, Capricorn down there. And, whoops, okay, then the very next day, because the moon moves so quickly, the very next day, on the 11th of October, the moon is going to conjunct Pluto, which is retrograde in the last degree of Capricorn, okay, for the last time. Moves direct on October something or other, and I forgot to write it down, but it doesn't move into Aquarius until November 19th. So the moon, and I heard this on, because I don't have time to keep track of like what, you know, I know that it takes like 280 years or something for Pluto to move all the way around the zodiac. I do know stuff like that, but I don't have time to keep track of like when's the last time. But I was listening to Steve Judd Astrology, and he said that this is the last time that the moon is going to conjunct Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. The next time will be over 225 years from now. That's a long time. We won't be here, so, or we might be, but we'll be in different bodies. I happen to believe in reincarnation, although I'm not positive, but I think I am. I don't know. Now, doggone it. Excuse me, I have to grab a tissue because I still have allergies. Okay, so we have this. I would say that you have probably been feeling very emotional because of Mars in Cancer. And where's Venus? Venus is in Scorpio. So Venus rules relationships, and Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, the god of the underworld. And so I have a feeling if you're not looking back at old relationships and feeling nostalgic or sad or missing people who've passed on, I would be really surprised, because this is a lot of water energy right here. And in fact, let's see, where is Venus? Venus is at 21. Oh yeah, so she's in the mix too. Let me see. 30, 60, 90, wait, trining. So Mars is trining Venus at 26 degrees of, did I say 26? 21, I'm sorry, 21 degrees of Scorpio. So there's a lot of really deep emotional energy going around that we're being forced to deal with. And then when the moon conjuncts Pluto tomorrow at the tail end of Capricorn, it's so karmic. You know, Capricorn is reality. It's ruled by Saturn. It's, quote, the real world, whatever that is. It's this dimension. It's Earth. And it's also the patriarchy, and it's also the father energy, and it's governments and structure. And it can be the structure of your own life, how you structure your life. And it's ruled by Saturn. And so there, I feel like there could be a heavy, kind of a heavy sense of responsibility too, emotional responsibility, and kind of a feeling of like you want to help your loved ones, but you don't know what to do, because Mars in Cancer feels a little bit powerless. He can't really jump on his horse and ride in like he usually does. He's swimming. So there's an element here of wanting, I think, of wanting some kind of emotional control and trying to balance your emotions with your physical body and your actions and everything. And it's going to be intense, because there's something in the subconscious, something inside your clothes that's biting you, and you need to figure out what that is. But with Jupiter going retrograde, I think that in Gemini, that gives us a good opportunity to process mentally what's going on subconsciously that we need to incorporate. And again, I think it's something emotional. Okay, so that's my take on it anyway. What do I know? What do I know? I don't know. I have a new setup tonight. I decided to put my Halloween buddies out here, some of them. So this is Jack O'Lantern, of course. Boris, who is named after Boris Karloff, the actor who played Frankenstein in the original. And that's Marley. And if you don't know who Marley is, you need to read your Dickens. Okay. Anyway, so I did the Cross of Truth. I'm going to go ahead and this is the Welsh mythology deck. I'm just going to lay them all out. Let's see who came where. Well, they're not going to fit. Why are they not fitting tonight? I have to move you guys back. Pardon me. Pardon me, everyone. I have more. I just go nuts at Halloween. It's not Halloween yet, but Halloween season, I have more. I have a giant pumpkin. This is wrong. And a giant ghost on the floor over here. I love, when I was a kid, oh my God, they told me, you know, it's Halloween, and I'm like a little kid, and they're like, yeah, you can run around at night on the streets without a parent wearing a costume. Are you kidding me? I was in heaven. I thought I've died and gone to heaven. I'm going to move this up a little bit. Does that focus? I think so. Okay. Anyway, this is us. Now, I'm really surprised to see emotional neutral, because I just said we were feeling very emotional. So I think this is kind of a melancholy. I don't think this is emotional neutral. I think this is melancholy. She looks rather sad to me. And sometimes when you're feeling really emotional, you can get into a depression where you're just like, you don't want to feel anything because it doesn't feel good. Is that clear? I don't feel like that really focuses unless I go to 1 on my screen. Okay. I think this is emotional sadness. And she doesn't quite know what to do about it. And it's not balanced, even though it's a 4. 4s are usually balanced, but in this deck, one of them's hanging from a tree while the other 3 are down here. So something's off. She's just feeling off, okay? I get that. And what do we need to let go of? We get the 8 of Pentacles. So here we are working hard, doing the same thing day after day, knocking out the pentacles. And this is Virgo energy. This is attention to detail. And it's saying, you know, I think maybe you should switch it up and not do, maybe you need to do something different, because this isn't, is this making you happy? It's not an unhappy card normally, but when I get it in the position of what do we need to let go of, I'm thinking we need to work differently. We need to work smarter, and we're stuck in a rut. Tut, tut, you're stuck in a rut, okay? And then I said, what do we need to move toward? And I get Rhiannon, the Empress. See, there we go with another song title. I swear to God, it's been nothing but song titles and lyrics in my head all night long, which is, I mean, I love music, but it's strange. So this is telling me we need to move toward what is going to bear fruit. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but even perhaps next spring. You need to look long term and say, okay, what can I control and what can't I? And what do I need to give my energy to? What do I need to nurture? What do I need to give birth to? In most decks, she's pregnant. In this one, she doesn't look pregnant, but it's definitely, look how fertile. Look at the flowers and the berries and the birds. It's about moving towards something that is fruitful, that will bear fruit for you. So if you're doing, you know, day-to-day things around the house, and Yeah, it's great that you vacuumed the upstairs, and it's great that you know, cooked some sweet potatoes or whatever. But what about your heart, and what about long term? Is this what you really want? So, maybe do something a little different and put yourself out there and be in control of your own actions and see if you can move yourself towards something that's a little more fruitful and more fun than this guy's having, or person. I can't tell. Not that it matters. Okay, then I said, what is this? What is our challenge? The Ten of Pentacles. We're trying to achieve security. Well, I hate to say it, but right now this is not a very secure time. But if you want the house and the kids and the, you know, the horse, I want the horse. And you want, there's more fruit. You know, if you want happiness and you want stability, then you have to think long term. Because right now this is not a very stable time. So our challenge is, how do you retain feeling stable when everything around you feels unstable, which it does at this time? It's not just you, it's the world. So this is our challenge. How do you retain your stability? Find something that makes you feel like you can be in control of certain things. And it's not so much about control as it is just going with the flow and just having faith that the future is going to get better and you can do this and you are stable, even though you don't feel like it probably. And then I said, what blesses us? And we get the Magician. So this is a very important time, and I'm thinking about Jupiter in Gemini going retrograde, giving us a second look of how are you thinking? What are you thinking about? What's your belief system? What do you believe you can do? What spiritual authority, if you believe in any, do you feel that you can channel? And what do you want to create? It's time to decide what you want to create and start creating, is what I'm feeling. And we have that ability with Jupiter giving us ideas and going, it's a review. That's always good to have a review. It doesn't necessarily mean we're stuck. It means we're going back to say, you know what, the past month or whenever, however long Jupiter's been in Gemini, feels like forever. And I don't know about you, but like I said, I've been in so many arguments with people, and I normally do not do that. And I just feel attacked. And I'm like, okay, now I get a chance to look back and say, okay, how did those things happen? I'm the common denominator. What did I do? Okay, so what energy are you channeling through you? Okay, then I asked for an overall energy card. And at first I thought, what? The Page of Cups. And then I thought, oh, I get it. Okay, so we're stuck right now in apathy. Excuse me. In apathy, boredom, perhaps sadness, and just we're not very happy or excited. Here comes a hopeful feeling. Here comes a new, someone comes forth and offers you something. And you know, I've had some amazing experiences in the last month, let's say, where I feel like everyone's attacking me and things have been kind of icky. And then there have been a couple of amazing, just like amazing things where I say to myself, how did this happen? Involving other people helping me out of the blue, or even just communicating with me and giving me information that I needed. And I'm like, wow, that's astounding. It just like people crossing my path that the odds of me crossing their path would be a zillion to one, but it's happening. So this is someone coming forth with some help for you emotionally, and it's a little boost of hope, and it might be a brand new feeling for you too. You know, with the moon going to be conjuncting Pluto, and that's such a deep dive into your the personal subconscious. Pluto rules the personal subconscious, and the moon is your emotions, rules your emotions. So though, you know, like I said, something can come up from the subconscious some emotion that you have had buried for a long time. And I know we've been talking about this for a long time, but it really is, you know, it's here. It's here. And that might give you a different take on things. It might give you a different emotional take on things. You can rewrite your emotional story. And I kind of hate it when people say that, because I don't want to ever suggest that what happened to you didn't happen to you. And I hate it like when people say, oh, you can reframe that in a positive way. No, there are some things you cannot reframe in a positive way. I do not believe that. Some things are just terrible, let's face it. But you can approach them emotionally from a different viewpoint. And especially you can be kinder to yourself and forgiving of yourself, and, you know, and maybe forgiving of others as well. Okay, let me draw I should say, draw an oracle card just for, ooh, okay, whoa, this one, the cards tonight have been flying out. Okay, we get here and now. Yes, because Pluto is in Capricorn, as I said, and Capricorn is about material reality. It's about the here and now. Let's see, our next full moon is on the 17th. It is in Aries. The moon's in Aries and the sun's in Libra. Okay, well, anyway, I'll talk about that later. I'm just looking. So, yes, something that you need to deal with here and now. And don't waste your time. Again, it's a nostalgic time. I get that. And it's okay to sit down and flip through old photo albums and miss your loved ones and think about the past. Just don't get stuck there. And don't get stuck in the future either. And think, you know, I'm not happy where I am today. So I'm going to think about leaving, and it'll be better when I move and get out of here. Try to channel the energy where you are right now. You can change things right now, right where you are. Let me draw one more and see if there's anything else, because wow, okay. They're just hopping out here. Truth be told, I am not surprised to see that. This is the heart chakra being opened. Mars in Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon, emotions. Again, you know, you got to look inside your heart. And even though we don't have anything in Leo right now, Leo rules the heart, there's still a lot of emotional energy. And Mars is, how do I want to put this? I lost my train of thought. Mars is very emotional in a strange way. Because Mars rules our passion. Okay, so passion is related to the heart. I don't know how you can have passion. You could have sexual passion, I guess, without your heart being involved, but it's a lot better if your heart's involved. I think that since Mars is in Cancer and Mars rules your passion, what lights your fire is what I'm thinking about. You need to think about that. And that will lead you from the Eight of Pentacles, which this person is just like knocking them out sort of unthinkingly, without emotion, not feeling it, to the Empress, which is, she's definitely feeling it. She's pouring her all into what she's growing and what she's manifesting. And so is the Magician. Okay. All right. I hope that made sense. Well, now I've got the screen so big that you can't see, oops, you can't see Marley's face. We have to say goodbye to Marley and Jack and Boris. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Again, the next full moon's on the 17th. I'll post before then, I hope. And leave me a comment. Okay, blessings. Good night.